Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. I'm KP, and today here at The Push, we do have a NXT recap to go through. This comes from the 20th of January edition of the show. We're going to do things as we normally do, break everything down, discuss all the happenings that took place across the course of the night, and basically just get right into the action. So, first and foremost, we are going to get things started and kicked off with our opening contest of the night, and that would see Ethanpage, the NXT North American champion, put his gold on the line once more against somebody who is making an impression and, making their debut in NXT. This will be the debut of Ilio Lefleur. He is a French luchador type athlete, and honestly, a lot of fun to watch based on this first match that we did see him in against Ethan Page. Got a lot of good things to say about this guy. Just very, flawless with what he does about in that ring. Just the style of, the offense that he delivers. Yeah, it seems to be pretty fun and energetic and just very high paced. That classic lucha libre style. And he definitely delivers that in spades. And he mixed quite well here with Ethan Page in his first matchup. He didn't seem second best, for obviously you look at someone like Ethan Page with his credibility and his current championship reign has been extremely good. But I thought these two men just sort of went back and forth quite nicely, really sort of even contest for the majority of the matchup. And it was just basically a last ditch sort of effort to get the victory from Ethan Page, who retains his North American Championship via way of a sort of a roll-up win. So Ilio would be on a roll. He has a big boot, and he hits it onto a Page in the corner. He then goes to Irish Whip Ethan Page into the opposite corner and looks to try and do the same thing again, looking for that big boot, almost like a haluva kick style maneuver from Sami Zayn that we do see. And as he goes for it, Page catches the second attempt, and he powerbombs Lefleur before then rolling him up, and he sort of holds the tights of Ilio. So not your classic sort of face victory here, but obviously as a heel, Ethan Page is absolutely killing it. He goes into the well and does what he does in order to get the victory. So that's what he did in this matchup. He used those tights, and he would get the 1-2-3 and defend his NXT North American Championship. But a really good way to kick things off. Really good debut for Ilio Lefleur, and looking to see what he can really do from here. It's a taste of what we can expect to see from him, but it's a good taste for sure. Coming up after that, we would have a one-on-one matchup. This would be our first of the NXT Championship ladder match qualifiers. So we'd have Shiloh Hill going one-on-one with Josh Briggs in this contest. Quite a heavy-hitting match, this one. Two guys who were, quite physical with the way they go about their business in the ring. And it was a bit of a clash between these two guys. I quite enjoyed the contest, generally speaking. But it gets to a point where Josh Briggs looks to sort of end the matchup and hits his big move. He goes for a moonsault from the top rope, but does miss the moonsault. Charlotte Hill gets out of the way. Charlotte gets to his feet and hits that lifting neck breaker that we've seen from him in his LFG days, as well as his early days here in NXT. And he hits that maneuver. He goes for the cover. He gets the 1-2-3, and he secures the victory and books his spot in the NXT Championship ladder match. So, congratulations to Shiloh Hill. The LFG Season 2 winner seems to not be slowing down anytime soon, and he's going to be the first man in that contest to qualify. Obviously, we do already know that Ricky Sains is part of it, but he's not qualifying. He was on commentary for this one, basically just having his say when needed. Once the match was all said and done, though, we would see Tony D'Angelo come out of pretty much nowhere, and he would take out both men, obviously Shiloh and Josh Briggs I'm referring to here, both with a spine buster. He would then leave the ring to the sort of dismay of the guys in the arena, the commentary team. Everyone seems to be a little bit of shock because these random sort of attacks that Tony D's been dealing out recently, it just seems nobody is safe at the moment. But Tony D taking down both of these two guys and, I guess having the last say in this whole situation. Coming up next, after that, we would have a tag team matchup. This would see the Vanity Project, more commonly known for their time in Evolve as of recent, have had the odd NXT appearance, and I think they were on the show last week, just announcing that they were officially part of the NXT roster going forward. This would see the team of Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes taking on Chase U, so Araya Connors and Kale Dixon. This was a really fun match. I thought this was probably the best match of this new Chase U that obviously we've come to know in the last probably year or so. And I thought especially Kale Dixon looked fantastic in this one. Sort of like a coming out moment for him. Maybe just hiding away a lot of his offense and capabilities up until this point. But this was the time where he unveiled the curtain and it actually allowed him to sort of like really go for it. I was really impressed from what I saw from KO Dixon in this contest. But generally speaking, it's just a really nice flowing, well-mixed tag team contest, and yeah, it just had a decent vibe and flow to it. In the end of the match, we do see a part where Uriah Connors gets dealt with swiftly at ringside. He gets crashing down onto the floor by the announce table, and that allows Brad Baylor to hit a bicycle knee onto KO Dixon. Vanity Project then have a bit of a tag, and they hit an assisted double foot stomp, and that'll be enough to get the victory here for the Vanity Project. So yeah, they get a victory up against Chase U. So not a bad result for the Vanity Project. V's up for the guys, and yeah, what a great performance here from everybody really in this matchup. It's just a lot of fun to watch. That would be the end of our first half of NXT here. We're going to go swiftly into our second half of the show right here, right now. And we saw last week the return of Jada Parker. She would come out to the ring and she would cut a promo. Basically just sort of reflecting on her time away and sort of her mentality that she has now, that she's returned, that she's back. She basically say that while she's been out, she's been keeping an eye on the women's division. She actually mentions a couple of names here. She mentions Kendall Gray and Lola Vice specifically, saying that they deserve their flowers. She also brings up Blake Monroe, saying that she does not deserve her flowers. She says people have their opinions on herself, Jada Parker, but she says that she catches people's eyes and attention. She says that she carries herself the way that she does because she deserves the space that she takes. Jada's sort of like rolling along here with a promo, and honestly, she's delivering it really, really well here. And she gets to a point where she basically mentions that she's not going to dim her own light in order to help people, to help other people shine. At that point, the lights do conveniently go out, and we then see Blake Monroe up on the crow's nest. Blake has the spotlight shining on herself. Before then, she says, we can bring the lights back on now, it's fine. But yeah, Blake says that Jada basically made a mistake last week before saying that Jada won't stand in the way of herself. Jada dismisses Blake Monroe, and that basically brings an end to the segment here. Sort of the two women just sort of like having a bit of a stare down. Obviously, Jada in the ring and Blake Monroe on the crow's nest. Yeah, it just sort of like allows that sort of stare down to basically take place to end the little interaction between both ladies. But yeah, it was a really good promo from Jada Parker. Really enjoyed this one. I can't really do it justice by a quick little summary here, but just generally speaking, probably one of her best moments, like promo wise, I would say in NXT. Was a really, really well delivered promo. So yeah, if you haven't checked this out, I'd recommend it. It was pretty good. Felt like it was from the heart, but also felt like it was believable and just really well delivered. Coming up after that, we would then go into our next match of the night, and this will be our second of those two NXT Championship ladder match qualifiers. We obviously saw Charlotte Hill advance earlier on, but this would see Sean Legacy go one-on-one with Eli Knight. Both these guys most commonly known from their time in Evolve. Apparently, Sean Legacy now a member of the NXT roster is what we were told on the show, and yeah, just this good opportunity here for both men to really showcase what they're capable of. We've seen a lot of Sean Legacy in NXT. We've seen the odd match here and there, but Eli Knight specifically is maybe somebody we haven't seen as much of on the NXT stage. And I thought both men had a really good showing here. Eli looked a lot of fun, bringing his high-flying energy, kind of similar to what we saw in Ilya Defleur from the first matchup, but obviously in his own way here, Eli Knight. And yeah, it was just a really fun, high-octane, enjoyable matchup between both men. Sean Legacy brings that sort of technical capability as well that we do see, which I quite like. And yeah, the two just put on a really nice flowing matchup as well. That just seems to be the vibe for tonight. The matches just flow really well. It doesn't end there either after this one. But yeah, regarding how this one went down in the end, we do see Eli going for a moonsault type maneuver from the top rope. Legacy gets his feet up though and literally just crashes against the face of Eli. Sean then hits his finishing move known as Shambles, and that'll be enough to pick up the victory for Sean Legacy. So he books his spot in that NXT Championship ladder match. We now know that Ricky Saints is obviously in it, as well as Charlotte Hill and the recently qualifying Sean Legacy. Once all is said and done in this one, guess what? We do see Tony D'Angelo once again attacking the competitors of these qualifying matches, and he attacks both men before then hitting a spine buster onto Legacy on the announce table. Once that's all said and done, we do see Tony just sort of like stare down towards a gathering security team with Ava, who are walking down the ramp. Tony gets out of the ring and just basically walks up towards them, has a bit of a stare down, and he just literally just accepts it, turns his back to them, and accepts his arrest. He gets put in handcuffs, and then he gets taken to the back to end the segment. We then see him being taken into a car just in the parking lot as well. Blake Howard's there trying to ask some questions and get anything out of him. Tony says absolutely nothing. Hasn't said a single word since he returned, by the way, and still that is the case here. And he gets taken away, escorted out of the arena. So yeah, as to what Tony D's really thinking here, no one really knows for certain right now, but he's definitely having his say in a number of situations, and at the moment, these NXT Championship qualifiers. And then we went into our main event of the show. This would see a triple threat women's tag team matchup. The likes of solruca and Zaria taking on Fatal Influences, Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley. And then the RenQCC of Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. This would be an opportunity for the winners to be the #1 contenders for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships, currently held by the Elegance brand on TNA. This is a really great matchup as well. Really, really fun. Just, I mentioned a moment ago, like, all the matches seem to just gel really well. This show was absolutely solid for just really fluid, well drawn out matches. There was nothing wrong with any of them, and this is a really consistent show when it comes to the in-ring work from everybody. And this matchup saw everyone get a chance to shine. There was so much going on the line here in terms of opportunities for all 6 women to really do their thing. There was literally no one that shied away here. There was some really nice tag team continuity throughout the entire matchup, just really nice flowing sequences, and just generally what we saw was just really high paced and a lot of fun to watch. When we go towards those late stages, we see Fatal Influence on a roll. Fallon Henley goes for a cover on Zaria after hitting a nice blockbuster off of the second rope. But as she does so, she's pulled to ringside by solruca. Sol eventually takes out Fallon Henley, rolls her back into the ring. We then see Lainey come into the aid of Fallon, but actually they both get hit by a double soul snatcher from solruca. Then Zaria hits an F6 in order to get the victory from hitting it on Fallon Henley. RenQCC dealt with prior to this whole situation at ringside. They're out of the question. They're out of the question at this point. I think they were rocked by JC Jane. It was hitting a rolling encore, just taking her out, and then Ren Sinclair had a little bit of a fight back with her, but they would sort of get taken. They take each other out on the outside of the ring. But yeah, with Zaruka getting the victory here, they now become the #1 contenders for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So they will face off against the Elegance brand. But yeah, that is basically NXT in a nutshell here. That was our main event, and that would basically bring the show to a close. In terms of this episode of NXT, like I said, the matches were absolutely solid. Just really, really fluid and just really nice to watch. Really good work in the ring from everybody really involved. In terms of what we saw elsewhere, there wasn't really as much to really discuss on this one. We saw a lot of stuff about Keanu Carver and his sort of history, a bit of awkward situation between himself and Booker T. There's a bit of a weird sort of vibe between that. I think we might have that sort of revealed in the next season of LFG coming out very, very soon. So yeah, a little bit of a teaser for that one. But there are definitely some ill feelings in there and a little bit of awkwardness between the two of them. But besides that, this show was pretty great, and it didn't really slow down from start to finish. And there wasn't anything absolutely spectacular that happened, don't get me wrong, but it was just a nice, solid, good show. I get this one a 7.5 out of 10. Possibly even creeping towards an 8, to be fair, just because of the in-ring work, really. In terms of the storytelling, there isn't really too much to go by, but we do have these NXT Championship qualifiers, which obviously are very, very big and important right now, because we want to see who's going to be competing in that ladder match. But yeah, really, really solid show. Really had a good time watching this one, and just especially loved the matches that took place. I'm a big fan of the graps, and this was definitely one to enjoy for those who like that kind of stuff. But for now, everybody, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. If you guys have enjoyed this one, then please consider hitting a like on this video, subscribing to our channel, and keeping up with future releases coming out very, very soon. We've always got stuff coming on out, always working on projects, and always excited to keep things rolling. Let us know what you thought in the comments, whether you agreed with me, thinking this episode of NXT was as good as I'm making it out to be, the matches, the quality of them, and yeah, just generally your thoughts on what we're seeing right now. It would be great to hear what you're thinking, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. But for now, everyone, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye for now.